Joining me now, I have Republican strategist Tiffany Smiley and Democratic strategist Antjuan Seawright. Happy Friday to both of you. Thank you for your time. Tiffany, let me just start with you. This is the first time a former president has been forced to testify before a House panel. In your mind, what's the single most important question those lawmakers need to ask him today?
Well, I think there's a lot of questions that they need to ask former President Clinton, and I'm happy to see him talking and answering these questions. You know, he very easily could have pleaded the fifth. And so the American people deserve answers and they deserve the truth. So this is sort of like a fact-finding mission, right? We deserve to know answers. The American people want transparency. They want accountability. And that's what we have the opportunity now to find out. I think they need to know what exactly was your association with Epstein? Where did you go with him? Who was present? And what do all these pictures mean? I think the pictures are a real indicator to ask a lot of questions of former President Clinton.
You know, Antjuan, I can't imagine Clinton would agree to testify and then offer up any bombshells today. What are your expectations from him, and what do you expect lawmakers to press him on?
Well, just as yesterday, I expect more of a performative, theatrical scene simply for Republicans to distract the American people. If this was truly about transparency and accountability, as Secretary Clinton stated yesterday, this would have been an open-door hearing so that the public could have heard her insight and her testimony. We've seen this type of theatrical performance before. Remember, in 2015, Republicans had her testify for 11 hours. Yesterday, it was 6 hours. No new information. But what we do know going forward, that there was precedent set yesterday. The Republicans will not be in charge of that committee forever. And so when Democrats take the majority in November, and we know that the current president is deeply named in those files and some of his associates.
And Antjuan, let me just say real quick, when you're talking about theater and performance, though, I mean, several Democrats voted to pursue, you know, contempt charges alongside Republicans. Does that not add credibility to the investigation?
It makes it bipartisan, but it does not bring true accountability, because if they were serious about gathering intel, then this would have been a public hearing. The other aspect of this is we've seen a number of Republicans tied to Epstein that have not been called to testify before this committee, including the Commerce Secretary. So going forward, if this was true bipartisan accountability and transparency, I hope to see others come before this committee in the same spirit of transparency.
Yeah, and Tiffany, a lot of people are saying, you know, what does this mean for President Trump moving forward? He's named thousands of times in the files. You know, will this open the door to getting him to sit eventually? And why wouldn't you, if there's nothing to hide and you're trying to bring justice for these victims? Why doesn't everybody just sit down and say, you know what, I'm innocent, but here's what I know, and everybody deserves to hear it from me?
Well, let's not forget that President Trump and his DOJ and FBI are the ones that are releasing all these files and exposing this. And the names that are redacted is in protection of victims, which is very important. There are multiple people going through these files before they are released to the public, which is in protection of victims, which is very necessary. And in this country, you are not guilty by association. So, you know, I know that Democrats try to act like this is the scandal of the century, and that in some regards implying that President Trump committed some criminal activity. That's just not true. If there was really a smoking gun, then Merrick Garland's DOJ and Joe Biden would have released this sooner. So the fact that President Trump is being transparent and accountable to the American people is huge, and exposing this and exposing the truth. And really, this is a fact-finding mission. I think Comer laid it out perfectly. We deserve answers. And this is just the beginning.
And Antjuan, how do you respond to that, and why we haven't seen this kind of focus on it in, you know, the last 5 years until now?
With all due respect, it's intellectually dishonest to say that Trump's DOJ has been transparent. Trump's DOJ has been forced to bring about this information as a bipartisan vote in the Congress, forced by Democrats on the committee. They have slow dripped this information. There are still members of the committee who are still asking for parts of this file to be released. You mentioned the redacted parts of the file. We also know from a report that came out just a few days ago that President Trump's name's in the files. Somehow or another, those files have been not released to this point to some degree. And so while this has been forced, and while DOJ has slow dripped this process, it does not mean they've been transparent.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.